Harassment methods. Overview of harassment methods used by FBI's COINTELPRO Operation Gladio. Covert community recruits and stay-behind armies, or instruction manual for community gang stalkers. From Chapter 18, Instruction Manual with Harassment Methods for Community Gang Stalkers, Undercover Community-Based Agents. Gang stalking is a covert counterintelligence operation to deprive and isolate the victim for climate control, to stage a synthetic psychological collapse for trafficking or exploitation, to stage a synthetic suicide programming for eugenics, to deprive the victim of any peace and justice for social injustice, forced oppression, also known as slavery. Welcome back to the program, everybody. Welcome back to another show. Welcome back to another episode. Good morning or good afternoon to all of my viewers, listeners, and Soul Tribe family. The name of this program is called It's a Conspiracy, But It Ain't No Theory. It's a Conspiracy, But It Ain't No Theory is a nonprofit social service agency suicide prevention campaign servicing the needs of families and foster children at risk. Lending my voice to help raise awareness by soft publishing a book trilogy called Lucy's Lair. Lucy's Lair is a graphic novel based on true events following my life as a freelance artist. This program is intended to help encourage, heal, and empower survivors of cancel culture and rape culture, providing free information and evidence regarding child abuse, sexual assault, domestic violence, electronic harassment, gang stalking, conspiracy, and true organized hate crimes against humanity, collective and covert. Your company can help by providing funds in a grant or by donating goods and services as I continue delivering this information and evidence to the general public and advocating for foster children in need. Thank you in advance for all of your support. On today's episode, I am going to be discussing gang stalking, occult ritual stalking, community harassment with malicious intent, hypersimulation theory, covert psychological operations, plus surviving the New World Order, surviving the New World Disorder per usual, surviving manufactured chaos, surviving manufactured karma, and surviving the electronic targeting Holocaust. My name is Adrienne Alese. I am the author and creator of a book trilogy called Lucy's Lair. Lucy's Lair is a book trilogy reflecting my life as a survivor of rape culture, child sex trafficking, and psychological gas chambers. On this program, I advocate for women's rights, basic human rights, and the rights of those disabled. I also advocate on behalf of the foster children in the CPS system, orphans, single mothers, foster mothers, and those less fortunate. Targeted individual or trafficked victims are predominantly women. 65 to 70% of targeted individuals are white American women or those who identify as such. This makes gang stalking an illegal operation or a hate crime that is sexually and politically motivated towards American women and their children. This program is a dedication to the targeted individual community. The objective of the opposition or the counterintelligence program, COINTELPRO 2.0, is to subvert all of the target's potential, to terminate and to punish all supporters and sympathizers, to round down the target's output and audience, to marginalize the target, to eliminate connections and networking ability. Project Monarch programming refers to a conspiracy theory claiming that the Central Intelligence Agency, CIA, developed a covert trauma-based mind control program. The conspiracy alleges that this program was an offshoot of the real and now widely known CIA project called MKUltra, which sought to develop techniques for interrogation and mind control. Allegations of Monarch programming. Advocates of the Monarch conspiracy theory claim that it used systemic torture and abuse to intentionally cause extreme trauma to subjects, forcing their minds to disassociate and create alter egos or manipulate multiple personalities. These personas could then be, quote, programmed. According to the theory, these alters could then be, quote, programmed using symbols and specific triggers, also known as anchors, to carry out a range of clandestine operations such as assassination, sex slavery, and intelligence gathering. Appendix 1. Keywords and phrases taken directly from this manual. Appendix 2. Key terms from Rich's, quote, New World War, revolutionary methods for political control. Electronic targeted killing, ETK comment. Note that the terms, definitions, military documents, laws, and patents provided by Rich prove the existence of this operation, described in Kilde's, quote, manual. Appendix 3, European Parliament Resolution on Operation Gladio. Appendix 4, From Total Individual Control, Technology by Omniscience. Part 6, Discrediting Targets. While the powerful silent support of operations by the justice and psychiatric systems has been sufficient to prevent the target from informing the public, the area of discrediting targets is an ongoing activity. Like sabotaging the target's reputation, discrediting their public statements, websites, media appearances, letters to the editor, and the like are done under the supervision of psychologists and psychiatrists on their staff. If a community-based agent, CBA, has a good track record of intelligently carrying out assignments and has access to a computer, the CBA may apply to the local control center for assignment to discredit work. Excellent communication skills are required. Some of the activities CBAs carry out under supervision are monitoring message boards, WOGs, and open media like indie media for target posts. This is normally done in special shifts and under scheduling and control at a higher level than your local control center. This monitoring is assisted by blog scanning software, which will detect and instantly flag posts relating to activities. The CBA community-based agent doing this work will immediately reply with comments like, quote, someone isn't taking their medication, or, quote, target's name has provided absolutely no evidence. The CBA will then report the post to higher level supervisors for possibly more detailed responses. Monitoring newspapers in your area for letters to the editor regarding activities. Most editors and many reporters have been recruited and are willing to assist in keeping the important work of monitoring and neutralizing quiet. But once in a while, a letter to the editor will slip through. In this case, comments like, quote, someone isn't taking their medication are not an appropriate response. Transcribe and forward such a letter to the editor, to the supervisor, along with your proposed response. The supervisor may edit your response and will assist in ensuring your response is printed. Your supervisor will have staff monitoring upcoming talk show appearances by targets. So, they're actually monitoring this because they are hacked onto the device, the system itself. They're watching my show in some sort of a ghost mode. So I actually have tons more viewers than what it actually says. Those numbers are being manipulated. They computer generate followers for members of this occult. They pump the numbers way up so it looks like they have a cult-like following. And then they do the contrast. The electronic corpse is responsible for doing the exact opposite to targeted individuals. They lower their view count and they're manipulating the overall numbers. They're computer generating false numbers. While most talk show hosts, even those somewhat sympathetic to targets, have received discrediting information and often will not host targets, some targets do manage to get on the air. In this case, your supervisor will assign you to call into the show and instruct you as to appropriate things to say, such as rebutting the target's claims, pretending to be a target, calling and making, quote, wacko statements, such as, quote, UFOs are harassing me, or pulling the discussion away from real activities and to something like media cult mind control. Agents who have excellent persuasive communication skills can be assigned with careful coaching and preparation from supervisors to pretend to be a target and get on talk shows known to air targets as the guest. These opportunities are great ways to discredit targets by talking about UFOs, things like black helicopters following you, foil beanies, satellites, quote, parked just above your home, and perhaps events normally considered, quote, paranormal, like seeing things that appear and disappear. So, in essence, it's simulating a synthetic schizophrenic diagnosis, and usually the mainstream propagated television that you're watching, either online or otherwise, it'll be things of that nature, things that seemingly appear and disappear to simulate a synthetic schizophrenic diagnosis and to facilitate an electronic targeting holocaust. These discrediting topics must be a total surprise to the host, only mentioned after the show is in progress. CBA can, quote, casually describe the, quote, odd behavior exhibited by the target as a result of around-the-clock activities to the target's neighbors. So this is confessing that there's trafficking going on in the community and specifically right next door. And this type of traffic is intended to stage a synthetic mental health diagnosis like schizophrenia, for instance. The idea is to focus the neighbor's attention to the target's behavior. So the idea is to focus all of the traffic to the target's behavior, hinting that maybe the target is mentally ill. So it's exploitation. It's a setup for exploitation. This is easy once the target has developed suspicion that, quote, everyone is out to get him or her. So you can see here that straight out of the horse's mouth, this is an entire confirmation and confession that this is all exploitation. It is a special, quote, honor for CBAs to be chosen for target discredit action work. So it is my honor to have been chosen and called by God for target discredit action work, to be able to discredit the covert psychological operation, the counterintelligence operation, and the psychological warfare that is currently happening. It is my honor to be called by God to discredit and to expose, by blowing the whistle, each and every one of these psycho-sadists, rape cult shills, lobbying for sex cult traffic, and promoting terrorism, participating in these rituals. So in any case, thanks so much for joining me on today's episode of It's a Conspiracy, But It Ain't No Theory. For the record, and to the best of my knowledge, I have been on the CIA's hit list for an electronic targeting homicide and Holocaust officially since October 31st, 2019, Halloween, after the tattoo shop I frequent was broken into and my son's name was tagged on the inside of the tattoo shop window. It is apparent to me that I am the victim of organized crime. After the death of Jerron's baby cousin, Jennifer Alfisa, who was 25 years old, on August 1st, 2021, approximately a week and a half after my cell phone alerted me that hackers were tracking me, I started this channel in fear for my life when I tried to file in court for domestic servitude and was denied access to the law library. My safety is jeopardized. None of this is for attention. I am not crazy, nor do I have a habit of telling lies. So far, I haven't made a single penny doing the Lord's work and speaking the gospel truth here on this program, delivering words of encouragement and true news, not fake news. Generally, I don't make any friends discussing deep-seated underlying political issues such as rape culture. Quite the contrary. I have lost my home, my family, my friends, my career as a model, my reputation, health, and I am forced to flee from this cult of deadly mobsters daily. I have been forced into impoverishment, and even though I am homeless, none of my family, my parents, have not asked me or called to see how I'm doing, not even once. Instead, they prefer to victim blame, to gaslight, and to argue. This is the reason for my crisis. My life should be so much different than it currently is. It should be the exact opposite. I should have been married, a married homeowner with foster children of my own by now, settled into a community and church. I am currently being oppressed as my constitutional rights are being violated daily, and I'm deprived of my right to life. So, if you wouldn't mind, if you appreciate the truth and the work I do here on my program, Please like, share, comment, subscribe, tip, or donate today. Every penny helps me to regain my social support, reputation, and independence. I don't smoke or drink, so no money is wasted. Thank you. Social engineering is a crime against humanity. Exploitation of illusory explanations to conceal directed energy crimes. This is social engineering. Cut your shower short to conserve our water. I'm so proud of my conservative efforts. So the fact that I am cutting my shower short conserves energy, water resources. The fact that I walk and I don't drive, same exact situation. I'm doing more for the climate than these so-called environmentalists. Charlie Kirk was shot for expressing himself politically. These are cover stories to conceal directed energy crimes, which is electronic targeted killings, an electronic targeting holocaust. So anyways, those stories that the media sells, it's out for sensationalism. And so all of this conspiracy, organized hate crimes, it's all sensational. What do I always say about the truth? 3 main things about the truth. The truth never wavers. You never have to worry about remembering the truth because, like I said, it never wavers, it never changes. And the truth always prevails.